Quick note for the start of this video, I'm too lazy to re-record the whole intro on everything every week, so this week is Molgras and Murdock, even though it doesn't say that at the start right after this. One of the most useful things you can do every week is finish your Hall of Illusion, especially on Nightmare, for a few reasons. There are lower difficulties, but in Nightmare, you're guaranteed a second set of runes. Additionally, you get the 5% chance of one of these high-tier accessories. That does mean only once every about 6 weeks on average will you get one, but it is still very much worth doing to try to get that. And so with that, and all of the new players coming on board from several sources, I thought I would help make a updated guide for beating each Hall of Illusion. With that, I'm going with a very common class so that everybody can kind of relate as to what to do. I'm doing an Invocator. This is my alternate character, so I don't really have good stuff, and I don't main Invocator at all. I have the Foci Staff, which is a tier 2. It is good because of the species damage boost, but otherwise it's nothing too terribly special. And I have the Healer Wand, because I do play healer here and there, just to fill a slot in dungeons. So my weapons aren't great. My armor set's nothing special. I do have a Heroic Helmet, but only level 8. Hellfire Cloak, 2-piece Brute. I'll pause on these for a second if you want to see traits or whatever. I have 2-piece Imperial, because like I said, I don't main Invocator, and this is the right set for what I do main, which is Eradicator, actually. And then I just have a generic, well, not generic, but a Nebula necklace, but tier 2. A generic tank bracelet. I do have 2 really good rings from the Hall of Illusion. Band of Brutal Agony, which actually that one might have came from the guild. And then Ring of Fractured Growth. So I do have a really good ring. Teardrops, which is a very common drop in an open dungeon. And just my Path of Ascension belt. So nothing special here. As for my weapon mastery, my staff is level 190 or 191. This is how I have it set up. The most important pieces for new players who don't know Invocator very well, Mana Ball Salvo is very important. Other than that, everything else is kind of just nice. This one's very nice. This one's useless. This one's very nice, along with the species damage boost to power it up or to activate it. This one helps a lot. And then your mana regen, because mana is always an issue. And then your power surge for max damage. And then every weapon has most of them have 2 nodes that give you an extra attribute point. This one gives you wisdom, and this one gives you strength. On the wand, it's only 150. You've got these 2 that are very important. Corrupting Hit, that's very important. And you can actually get away with not using this one and only using this if you know it's night. But I believe Hall of Illusion, it counts as day. I'm not certain, so I just use both active. You need self-healing, so I don't have this active now. Your other option, if your weapon doesn't have self-healing, is the Void Stalker tier 2 set. With that, you can get a lot of self-healing. Then the other things here on the wand, this is really important, this is really important, and this one's kind of crucial. You really need to have this one with the wand on Invocator to do damage. And then everything else is just kind of there. But of course you can pause and copy these. I do have more overall weapon mastery skill than you might have if you're a newer player, in which case you would just take the 4 that you can get for the combat power. This one of course helps a lot for attribute points, and the poison helps with Curse Explosion. So that's my build, nothing special. You should be able to get to its damage output fairly quickly. Your Path of Ascension probably isn't as powerful as this, but as you build up towards your best in slot stuff, you very well could get there. So with that, let's jump into this week's Hall of Illusion. This week's Hall of Illusion is the hardest, in my opinion. Mostly because you have to have a certain skill in order to survive this guy's mechanics. And so you have to change up your skill bar. This guy's not as bad, but for this guy, he's not only hard to survive, but you have to have the right skill. So let's talk about the skill. As an Invocator, the skill you need is your Frost Smokescreen. I'm going to throw that on my bar right now before I forget to do it. As this guy traps you inside of a red circle, the only way to move is with your Q block, but that tends to have a hard time moving far enough, or with a skill that can move you, such as Frost Smokescreen. The wand actually doesn't have a skill that moves you, so if you just ran wand, that would be hard. So having the staff makes it easy. But every weapon has a skill. Let's just go through these. Great sword, you probably have your dash. That is the dash, right? Yeah, dash can work. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Daggers, this one exists, but it's kind of hard. Your jump strike or whatever this is called. Crossbows, this one's really easy. You've got your nimble leap. The wand, as I already talked about, there isn't anything. On the orb, I'm not super familiar with it, but whichever one teleports you into the other realm, that one should work. I don't know which one it is. The sword, you have your strategic rush. That'll work just fine. Longbow. Actually, I don't think longbow has a skill that will move you. So if you played Seeker on this one, the only benefit would be you'd be able to heal yourself and survive that way. But I don't think you can move. Staff we have. And then Spear, you have Gale Rush. That one kind of works. Maybe the Fear Jump. But for the staff, your Frost Smokescreen is the skill you need to have. So let's jump into this week's Hall of Illusion. Okay, this boss is generally considered to be the hardest boss. Like I said, because of the skill that you need to be able to move, in our case, the Frost Smokescreen. So, let me explain a few things. He's going to spawn 2 totems to start the fight. And then throughout the fight, he's going to spawn more totems wherever you're standing. So if I'm standing here and he says, come out totem, a totem will stand or spawn right here. These totems shoot random red balls of damage that move pretty slowly, but they add up when you get a lot of them. He does that a few times, teleports around a few times, and then he will say, there's no escape, and he's going to teleport onto you. And there's a pattern. I think it's 2 times of other teleports. He'll teleport onto you and then do a Wrath attack. That Wrath attack, for the first time, you want to aim it at 3 totems if you can, because if he destroys 3 totems, he will get stunned. The second time he's doing a Wrath attack, you need to hit one of these 3 pillars, and that will spawn a safe zone for his AoE wipe you mechanic. So I know a lot of that's kind of hard to follow. The one thing I didn't mention is he's going to point his finger at you, and you're going to be trapped in a red circle. When he does that, you can't move, and that's where you need your Frost Smokescreen. So let's get this started, and it'll be easier to some way to see it. So here's your 2 totems that he spawned at the start. He says, come out totem. It's going to spawn a totem where I'm standing. Then he's going to teleport. He's going to point his finger, and you see this red circle around me? I have to use Frost Smokescreen to get out so I can jump that attack. The Fury attacks are very dangerous. If he hits you with that Fury attack, you end up taking a lot of damage. Ooh, I'm going to get a bunch of the totems here. 4 of them. So because I destroyed 3 totems, he gets stunned. So I can just completely damage him. Now, I'm not right now because of the guide I'm making and talking it through. But that's where you could do a lot of damage. Again, he trapped me. I need to block the Fury. Use Frost Smokescreen to get out. You can do that in reverse order. And then jump to block that. Okay, he spawns 2 random ones. Then Fury, that over and over. This, you jump. Now I want the other totems to kind of spawn close to this. And what I'm going to try to do is get 3 totems. And whoops, that's not the button I wanted to press. And now I don't have a way out of this. So you get to see how much damage it does, because I can't move. Oh. Then he stunned me because I missed the block. And look at how much damage I'm taking. Now he's going to teleport onto me, and I need him to destroy this. This meaning the pillar. The fact that he didn't get 3 totems is okay. He just doesn't get stunned in that case. And I need to stand in here while he does this big damage here in the center. Okay. I'm going to step up my damage a little bit so that I can heal. Okay. Again, more totems. He's going to lock me up again. Use Frost Smoke Screen. Jump here. And you see all these red things coming out of the totems. If you do get stunned and you miss a Fury attack, or you miss the, oh, hey. Did I get 3? No, I only got 2. Okay. If you miss that Fury attack, and then he hits you with this, you can end up taking a lot of damage, especially as all the totems shoot these red balls of damage at you. Now, in this case, all of the totems are very much spread around, so that makes it kind of hard to get them all hit. If you're a melee class, this does make this one quite a bit harder. Ranged Invocator is easier because you can place the totems while still doing damage. And I'm going to get him... Actually, I want him over here when he teleports, because he's going to teleport next after he does 2 rounds of totem spawns. So I want him to teleport to me here so I can destroy the pillar. And ideally, I would destroy the pillar and 3 totems, but I'm not going to worry about it. Just the pillar is the important part. Okay. Now, this is kind of a DPS check in that I only have 1 pillar left. So if I can't kill him before he gets to the point of doing that wipe mechanic and I'm out of pillars, then you don't have enough damage for this. But yeah, watch for the red circle, jump that, use your Frost Smoke Screen, get your totems to place. Oh, there's one last... When he says 1 more totem, that totem right there, do you see the AoE around him? That is a lot of damage. Additionally, if you have him blow that one up, it blows up and does a lot of damage. So these ones are very dangerous towards the end of the fight. You don't want him to hit them with the laser, mainly because it does a lot of damage to you. Nice. And you can't be standing in it because it does. Here, I'll show you. Like, it's hitting me for 1600 a tick. Like, that's a lot of damage. So that is the whole fight, but there's a lot going on, a lot of confusion. Make sure you block your Fury attacks the first time he does a laser, or every other time. Have him destroy a pillar and use the pillar for your shield. Oh, in this case, I'm stuck on the ground because I didn't jump, so I'm getting hit by everything. Thankfully, I'm able to take all this, but that's a lot of damage. If I kept track correctly, this is where I need him to destroy the pillar. Yep, okay. And again, there's another one of those danger pillars right there. And now I can just finish him off. It's not the button I meant to press, but whatever. That was a bad order. Then I did that. That's okay. I don't really care. That is his entire fight. Let's move on to the next floor. Okay, this particular floor, these blue things on the ground stun you and do some damage. 6,500 in this case, so it's a good chunk of damage. I'm going to take the health. And then guys are going to spawn all around. Okay? Thankfully, they don't all aggro on you. I have tried to round them all up in one... Oops, I did aggro some of them. And depending on your AoE, you can. But these guys are going to spawn rats. Let's see if they will here. Actually, I think it's only the ranged guys that do. I'm not sure. But the rats are really dangerous because they can fear you. And then the fear can knock you into the stun, which then you get feared again, back into the stun. And you end up stun locked / fear locked. Oh, there's a rat right there. He's a little tiny green one. Can we see him? I know he's in there. He's a toxic rat. Oh, there he is. So if he hits me, he might not this time. Oh no, the toxic rat just poisons you. Oh, these things. You want to destroy those things. So when you kill an enemy, I'll kill a few here now. See these evil spirits? Every time you kill an enemy, they're going to spawn an evil spirit. If that evil spirit reaches this pillar, it's going to do a huge arena-wide wrath attack that you want to dodge. Oh, there we go. There's the fear rat. I got feared. Luckily, I didn't get stunned. Here we go. We'll just go through it. So I'll have to block that, but then more stun locations pop up. So you want to destroy those spirits quickly. If you attack them once, I'll do that here in a second, it will just stop moving. So you don't actually have to kill it, and they don't have very much health anyway. But let's kill the... So that spirit, see how I attacked it, and now it's gonna die because my auto attacks are such. Let's attack over here. Okay, there's the evil spirit. I can attack it at some point. I'll hit it, not destroy it, and it'll just stay there. So really you only have to hit them, you don't have to destroy them, but I normally just destroy them anyway. And that's the whole thing. So just avoid the rats and destroy these evil spirits as they pop up. And you can round up the whole platform if you want, but I find that you end up getting too many rats unless you can keep your distance with range, which with Invocator you can. But as someone who doesn't main Invocator, and I'm only doing this for the tutorial, there's an explosion rat, so don't be inside that explosion. I'm used to doing this melee, so I do little groups at a time instead of one giant group. But it's very easy to get stun locked from all the rats. So, alright, let's go ahead and just kill everything here. I can take off Frost Smoke Screen now, because I don't need it at this point. I only need it for that first boss. So I'll probably do that. He should curse to death in theory. But I do need to watch my back and make sure that doesn't move in. Okay, then this last guy. I'm just gonna go and use Hellfire Rain. Oh, apparently they do move eventually. Oh, I didn't kill that guy. Cool. Alright, this particular boss, we're gonna grab the health here. He doesn't have too terribly complex of mechanics. He just has a lot of areas of damage that you need to try to avoid depending on how well geared you are. The higher tier your gear, and if you have plate, of course you get more defense. You want skill damage resistance, but he's going to do a lot of damage in big areas that you need to try to avoid. But if you're geared well enough, that isn't too bad because you'll out-heal it. His big mechanic that you really need to focus on is when he summons his clones. He'll say, "There's no escape," and then he'll jump up into the air as clones are starting to spawn. He'll hit the ground, and you want to jump to avoid that attack, otherwise you're stunned. And then those clones are going to start doing wrath attacks on you. Now the trick for those, you can try to roll Q block them, because they're wrath attacks. But after he says there's no escape and he's doing his jump, move to the outside of the arena and jump his attack. And then just move around in this direction or that direction, whichever. Just keep moving so that they aim the wrath attack behind you and you literally dodged it by moving around. Once you're done dodging all of them, get close to the boss, because otherwise he will pull you in and likely kill you. So you need to be close to him after the clones are gone. So let's get into this. I'm going to start with big damage to try to get him into his mechanics. I still have Frost Smoke Screen on, but that's okay, whatever. Okay. There's no escape, so I'm going to move towards the outer edge, jump that attack, and I'm just going to move around in a circle, and you see those lines on the ground, that's their area of damage. Then I'm going to get close to him, so he can't pull me in. He tried to, you seen his club light up, but because I was close enough, he couldn't actually do it. These cages up in the air, they'll drop, and there's a little red circle on the ground. You can kind of see them there in the background. Pause the video if you need to. Just don't get hit by those. It gets a little harder as more spawn later. Let's do some damage. Oh, I screwed that up, but whatever. And you see when he attacks with a shield, he attacks to his left. Oh, no, there's no escape. When he attacks with his club, then he'll attack to his right. Oh, I am in a bad spot. See all those clones attacking? You can dodge roll several at a time if you get it just right. But if he's attacking with his club and he's doing a big attack, it's going to be on his right. until towards the end of the fight, he'll do 2 attacks with his club and 1 with the shield, or 2 attacks with the shield and 1 with the club. And that's when it gets really hard to try to dodge everything. So you want to be a bit tankier to take that, or a bit better geared. See how he attacked with the right, and then this time he did another attack with his club. Death to the weak, you can jump that one. There's no escape, so he's going to do his jump here. And then I want to be on the outside and moving, and get them all to aim where I was, and not where I am. Like that. And then, oh, I lucked out that he didn't pull me in, because I didn't get close to him. That's my bad. I did take a lot of damage, though, overall, so we're going to try to heal up here. Oh, I mistimed that. And if I can get him to do his attack where he does 2 with 1 and then 1 with the other in terms of shield versus club, I will here. Okay, then I think the next one's a shield. Nope, nope, that one's all club. Oh, there's no escape. I need to get to the edge. Jump. Get them all to aim at me here. Then get close to him. And yeah, he does a lot of damage everywhere. And so, but the big one you need to focus on is making sure to jump when he says there's no escape on that attack, and then leading everybody to hit him behind you. Let's see, what do I get here? I got adventure coins, fortitude coins, let's go. But yeah, that is this week's Hall of Illusion. It is generally, I consider, the hardest. The first one, you have to have a movement skill. This guy just does a lot of damage, so you have to be pretty well geared. And it's pretty easy to die, all in all, in this particular Hall of Illusion. So that's this week's.